What is going on, everybody? Welcome back here to the channel. Breaking news. The Lakers sign Jake LaRavia to a 2-year contract for worth over $12 million. This 2 years, $12 million contract. This is big time for the Lakers. He's essentially trying to be their Dorian Finney-Smith replacement. Aaron Riley, who's also Austin Reeves' agent, negotiated the deal from AMR Agency. He is expected to be the Dorian Finney-Smith replacement in the Lakers rotation next season. Dorian Finney-Smith signed a 4-year, $53 million deal to go to the Houston Rockets today at the start of free agency. So the Lakers try to get younger, trying to get a little bit less expensive here. They go out and they go sign Jake LaRavia. Again, shares the same agency with Austin Reeves, who also has his pending extension coming up here with the Lakers. So now looking at the Lakers cap sheet here, the thing that's interesting and what we have to keep an eye out on for now is the Lakers have now hard capped themselves at the first apron. They're about $19 million below the first apron right now to operate with, because I'm trying to double check here and see why that is. But I do believe it is because the Lakers are using their mid-level exception, which is going to cap them, hard cap them at the first apron. So I do apologize if that is incorrect, but to my knowledge, they are now hard capped at the first apron due to the fact that they are using some of the full mid-level exception to sign Jake LaRavia. So now this is interesting in terms of how the Lakers are going to be operating this summer and what this looks like in terms of this roster build. Losing Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James is not necessarily maybe the happiest person right now. They're not necessarily consulting with LeBron this year either, which is another key thing that we kind of should discuss and keep an eye out on, is the fact that the Lakers are not consulting with LeBron James in terms of the roster build like they have in years past. They are fully looking out looking at, what the Luka Doncic era can look like for Lakers basketball. And getting younger, they go get Jake LaRavia. And like I said, yeah, Bobby Marks tweeted out first apron hard capped is triggered by the Lakers here by going out and signing Jake LaRavia. Just double checking and reading up on some stuff. The Jake LaRavia contract does indeed come out of the $14.1 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception. They have about $8.25 million left, and they still have their $5.1 biannual exception left that they still have to their their resources at their tool belt, or whatever the case may be as well. So I think the biggest thing you want to look out for here is a potential DeAndre Ayton move. What does DeAndre Ayton do? That is one of the bigger dominoes here that we want to see if they wind up falling here in free agency, as free agency is underway. What does DeAndre Ayton do? Does he want to come to LA and play for, about 70, not even 70, like 60-ish% of the of the full mid-level exception after accepting his contract buyout from the Portland Trail Blazers? The biggest thing is with DeAndre Ayton, he has made it clear that he wants to go to a team that's contending. And I think DeAndre Ayton is actually a really, really good player if you kind of lower your expectations of him, and in the sense of, if you hold him to number one picks of a draft that includes Luka Doncic and Trae Young, for example, you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed. If you hold him to the standard of as being a starting center in the NBA, he's actually pretty daggone good, I think. So if you're able to get him in here on about an $8 million contract, using up the rest of that non-taxpayer mid-level exception, I think that is the way you go if we are talking about Miles Turner. Another option that I honestly, just looking really quickly here at the selection of bigs that the Lakers could go after, obviously DeAndre Ayton is number one. I'm curious at the very least to see if you could go get Al Horford. I would honestly, I know you're getting a little bit older, but I think Al Horford provides you with the small ball five look that JJ Redick really values. Clearly, some of the small ball stuff. Al Horford is a guy that can play the four and be a small ball five for you. I get it. He's old. This is going to be his last contract without a doubt. But if you can somehow overhaul your big rotation, and it's DeAndre Ayton and it's Al Horford And if you can go get a third big on the trade market, or if I doubt it happens, but if you are able to bring back a Jackson Hayes, and Jackson Hayes is now your third big in the rotation, I think you're really, really solid in terms of the big spot, and definitely much upgraded compared to last season. Really quickly, some more information on Jake LaRavia, just Jake LaRavia, the player. Obviously, a younger prospect. Jake LaRavia is only 23 years old still. Played at Wake Forest and Indiana State. Drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves in a trade that went to Memphis. Had a really, really good sophomore season before injury. Only played in 35 games, 23-24. Averaged almost 11 points per game, though. Over his career, a low-volume three-point shooter, only under 3 attempts per game, shooting 37% from 3. I think the fun part about Jake LaRavia is I think we're adding a piece to the roster that can legitimately make decisions off the catch, off of skip-out reads from Luka Doncic. He has good enough second-side creation, not even second-side creation, second-side playmaking ability, I think, to, at the very least, play off the catch, attack and close out, and make that connective pass. I do like Jake LaRavia in that aspect. Grades out decently well in terms of impact defensive metrics, with a B defensive LeBron grade per B-ball index. If we wanted to look even more into some specific categories, he was used as a helper last season. He is, I think, a legitimately really good help defender. A- perimeter isolation defense grade, 84th percentile. Good passing lane defense, A- in the passing lanes per B-ball index. Reading off some just advanced analytics for you guys here. So I like the fit. He's a guy that is going to bring some value for you offensively. A little bit more athletic, a little bit younger than Dorian Finney-Smith, a lot of bit younger than Dorian Finney-Smith, especially on the contract. I think that's the other thing, too. I completely think it's fine that the Lakers did not want to lock themselves into a 4-year contract for Dorian Finney-Smith, who's coming off of an ankle injury and the required surgery. Completely justified, in my opinion, why they did not want to commit 4 years of salary to him. If this was the LeBron timeline still, okay, I think it's maybe justifiable. Like, you're paying, it's only 7% of the cap in 28, 29, but you'd be projected to pay 36, 37-year-old Dorian Finney-Smith $14 million. That's going to look like a bad contract. But it can potentially look like a bad contract at that point in his career. So I do like this. I think it makes sense for the Lakers to want to go out, want to go get Jake LaRavia, and also it does kind of keep the relationship intact here in LA with AMR, with Austin Reeves' agency, and obviously the Lakers are going to be negotiating Austin Reeves' contract here coming up. Clint Capella, while live on recording this, Clint Capella, a couple of big options off the board here. Luke Cornett signs a 4-year, $41 million deal with the Spurs, and Clint Capella signs a 3-year, $21.5 million deal with the Houston Rockets. I will say, if this is kind of the dollar amounts are getting thrown around, I do kind of worry if 8.5 or 8.25 is not enough to bring back. To acquire DeAndre Ayton, but we'll see. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can, guys. We might be going live here later on the channel tonight, especially if some major news drops, like a DeAndre Ayton signing or a Lakers trade for a wing. So, maybe Jake LaRavia is their wing. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Jake LaRavia. And as always, go Lake Show. Catch you guys soon. Peace out.